Okay,
This
substitution.
one?
Yep, substitution method. Now you're going to, Danny, like yesterday and any other day, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to, no, don't do that yet. We're going to do that like right after we finish the problem.
Okay, so it's just the equations first.
Right. So the last class we did this problem, and this class I'm just doing review problems. But you get the opportunity to see the video once I post it in a couple more minutes to
Okay.
all classes. So you'll see the other problem. But what I want you to do is I want you to first open a new tab
Okay.
and make another Google Doc with your header.
Okay.
All right, and it needs to look like, you can stop sharing your screen. It needs to look like this. So I'm gonna share mine so you can see how much you got to type. Uh, okay, so you should see something.
Yeah, I see it.
Now, what I want you to focus on is this over here. You need your first name, right? Your full name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Your date. This is your header, and this is the
Mm-hmm.
problem from Edsby that I was showing you. Right? I want you to copy. If it makes it easier, you copy the problem from today's assignment.
Right.
So
Okay.
come to it, and you just copy this part over to your new document. Okay.
Okay.
And then if you finish fast enough, you'll have until 10. I want to say, because I'm giving y'all a 10-minute startup time. You have till 10:13 to get it done. If you get done faster, you can go take a walk. Because I know you just came from your other class, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right. You might want to use the bathroom, get something to drink from the kitchen or something, and but get this part done first. Because once I go back, it's going to be some steps that I'm gonna go through, and then you have to watch the video. So you'll have the document started. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, is everybody back? We can finish with this. So either say you're back in the chat or okay, yeah, okay. Good job, Isaiah. Danny, you there?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. So you got the top amount of what I was telling you to type, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So all these steps, they'll be in a video I'm gonna post in a second. But I want you to try to at least type this much, as much as you can here,
Okay.
and I'm gonna finish up the problem. Isaiah, you should have all this already, I think. So let's finish this problem up so we can work on like two of the worksheet problems. So what do we do here? Well, again, we got two new fractions, and we don't have any variables. We wanted y by itself, so we got that. So before y'all came back from break, I went on ahead and used Symbolab to type this in, right? So this is the two fractions that came from what we solved for with y. So I'm going to hit enter. And it's going to put these together. And in case you don't like least common denominators and like putting fractions together, because usually you could just divide these out and get decimal numbers and just put them together. So the final answer is this here. That's that negative 6.8. And then 6 has an 8 after it. So let's say 6.87. So it's going to be a negative 6.87. And I'm going to underline this real quickly, or I'm going to put this in a different color because we're going to now use this to finish the problem off. So I'm going to put this in orange. That's not dark enough. Let's just put it in this type of red. And turn that red off. And we're going to say that we need to what? Take the original equation that we found for x and substitute it into y, which was this here from earlier, and we go back and we find out what x is using this new y that we found. So now substitute the y value that you found into back into, I should say, equation 1, the simplified version, or simplified. That's I showed you where that's going back. When I say simplified, if you don't remember, you got to check the other video, Danny, if you get a chance. But we did all this work up here,
Mhm.
and we solved for x. And notice there's not a full solution for x. There's a y there. And then when we did that, we substituted it in here for equation number 2. So that's why you take this and you plug it in where x was. And we worked it out some more. But now we got to go back and find out what that y was when we used it to find y. So all I'm going to do is, this is going to be different, is I'm going to take this equation and I'm going to put that y in there because we know what it is now. We didn't before, but that's what substitution method was important. So I'm going to say parentheses, if we do anything else, and then take that y value that we found, I'm going to plug it in. Then the last step, of course, is just the calculation, which we can use Symbolab for. So what does that become? Well, let's just take it and crunch it over in Symbolab. I'll take this from here, move that, and put that here. And it looks like our answer is this here, right? 13.336. I don't want to write all those numbers, so I'm going to round that to 34. So x is equal to, finally, you got to find your x and your y when you do these. What do we say? 13.34, right? So now that we have that, we can say, to finish the problem off, the ordered pair is And it's always, your order pair is always in this format, X, comma, Y. So that is, of course, what we found for X, and that was this. Parentheses, this, that's your X, comma, whatever your Y is. And that'll be what we found here. That ends this problem, okay? So you have to type all this up in the format, download it as a PDF, and then submit it to EDSB. So I want to give you about 5 minutes to type this up, and then I'm going to open up another screen for the PDF that's inside of the assignment, because you got to do 4 problems on your own. I'm going to do 2 of them in class with you, but it's going to be up to you to finish up the other 2. And again, this video will help you if you need to catch up or review it. But you have to try it and get it all done by 8 p.m. tonight. So just wanted to change that. That's your final answer. Put that underline and in bold, in case you're wondering. All right, so I'm gonna set a timer for 5 minutes, and then we're gonna jump into 2 more problems that are inside that worksheet of the assignment. So I'm setting a timer. So come back at 10:23, or I'll come back at 10:23, and basically we'll do those other 2 problems. But I'm leaving this up now so you can type it in and have it. So when you go back to the videos, you can just make sure you fill in all the blanks.
Turn it in, right, Tyler?
Hmm?
Turn it in.
You got everything typed up?
Yeah.
Okay, so since you're doing that, I'll leave this open for Danny for a second. If you go to Isaiah's and give you time to set up a new Google Doc, if you go to the actual assignment where you got the problem from, when we go in there, there's a worksheet that I posted. So you open it up, and it looks like this. You're responsible. Let me just blow this up for a short second. You're responsible for problems 1, 6, 2, and 7. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to do 6 and 7 with you. You're going to be responsible for 1 and 2. All right. So go on that document and work on problems. I'll put it in the chat. 6. I'm sorry. Problem. You can start if you want, because I told you 2. I'm going to do 6 and 7. So I want you to try to start setting up the problems 6 and 7 in a new Google Doc with your header and everything. Okay. All right. I'll give you guys 2 more minutes. I said 23, but I was explaining something. Let me put this back so Danny can see, or you can see. I think you're done with it, but if you're done typing up that bit, Danny, you can do the same. Okay, my timer just went off. Are you guys back? Are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, okay. Danny's there. What about you, Isaiah?
Yeah, I'm setting up the problem.
Okay. Oh, you setting it up? Okay, so Danny, did you start setting up the problem too?
No, it's because my Wi-Fi started tweaking, so it logged me out.
It knocked you out?
It logged me out like right now.
So you able to log back in?
Yeah, I logged back in like right now. So
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna start setting it up. Again, you just review the videos to finish this other problem up, but we got to change gears so we can
yeah,
get at least two of these worksheet problems done. Now, I said I would do 6 and 7. So what I mean by that is this is how we set it up, right? So I'm gonna I'm gonna get out of my CPS account and go to my teacher account, which is they're both teacher accounts. But all right, so doc, I'm gonna start a new document, and we gotta name our document. So we'll call this substitution method or sub method. I'm just giving it a name so I can find it. And practice problems. And the problems that you're supposed to do, that 1 and 2 from the worksheet, you include that in here too. All right. But I'm starting you off with trying to get your mind ready. This is like the we do right now, you guys. So I did the I do, which is I did a problem. The do now, of course, was you attempting the problem because I posted it in a way that you have time to review it. But at any rate, we did that. Now the first problem is 6. So let me blow this up for a second. I forgot to put my header. So let me just take it from here because I don't want to waste too much time. You got to make sure you have that in there. Uh-oh, that's not what I wanted you to do. Okay, there we go. I didn't come out of that. And then boom. Okay, good. And next is the problem title, which is, it comes from here, but it's pretty much the same instruction. So I'm going to take that as well, but not the equations. So what the problem is asking you is right here, and this is the problem set. And we're going to work on 2 of those. So I'm going to put that in there as well. We're still using substitution method. Let me blow this up some because it looks small on my screen. All right. Can you guys see everything, or should I scroll over some? Can you see that?
Yeah, yeah, we can see it.
Cool. All right. So let's take tackle that first one. That's 6, problem 6. And it's this here. Can I copy this? I can. Ah, stop it. There we go. Copy that. And now I'm going to place this here. And this is basically our equation 1, like we did earlier, right? EQ1. And this will be, the second one is our EQ2, or equation 2. Awesome sauce. Now, all we got to do is figure out which equation you want to start off with. And like I said, these are a little easier because remember, in our previous workout or exercise, we had fractions and we had like terms. This is pretty straightforward. So if you were me, what would you do? Well, I'm looking at equation 2. It's not much to it to get x by itself. Equation 1, you got to figure out if you want to use x or y. So I'm just going to take equation 2 and pretty much work that out to the point where I solve for x. So say now use equation 2 to solve for x. Okay. So that there, and I'm gonna put that equation here. This is equation 2. Now what do I do? Well, equation 2, we solve for x, and it looks like the only thing on this side of the equation is 7x. So the only thing I need to do is use algebra, right? I say solve, I'm talking about algebra. I should have said that. We've been doing algebra all day. So what do I do? Well, I can go to the 7x here, and I can make a fraction. like we did before. Because remember, that's like saying 7 times x. Well, the reverse of multiplication is division. So I'm going to go ahead and make 2 division bars there. And I'm going to put 7 there because that's what we want to divide by. That's bigger than that. I got to fix that in a second. So where's my mouse? Okay, there it is. My cursor. So when I do this, some things will cancel out. I didn't want you to do that. Back. I want you to do this. Make them all the same size. In fact, let's do this. Let's do 12. That's a little bit better. Okay, everything's the same size now. So clean this up for you. And like I said, some things will cancel here. But what's 21 divided by 7? That's an easy one, right?
3.
3, that's what you said, Isaiah? Yep. So give me a second. I'm just cleaning it up for you guys. That cancels. This cancels because it's 7 divided by 7 is 1. 1 times x will be x. So now x is by itself, and we're still going to go back and do a substitution method by taking this new equation. I didn't want to do that. I want to change the text, not the highlight. There we go. And that's going to be crossed out as well. Okay. And these are all the changes I made to the problem in equation 2. So I need to put that in red. Okay, so the red portions are what I added to the equation to do algebra. I divided by 7, cross 7 out, and Isaiah said the answer a moment ago. This turns into a new equation of x equals 3. That was way easier than our other problem, right? But we're not done. We got to take this x equals 3 and substitute it here in this x for equation 1. So let's begin. Now substitute equation 2, that's what we started with, right, into equation 1. So I take the x value and I plug it in there. So let's take this original equation for equation 1, and I'm going to plug it into this equation 1. So new equation will become what? Well, take this part and I put it underneath. I'm going to be replacing this x with the x we found. So I'm going to use some parentheses here. And that's 3 that goes inside. So that's the change. I did it again. Here we go. That's the change real quickly if you see it. So now I need to solve for y here. But I can, multiply that together, and that's 9 times 3. What's 9 times 3? Anybody know?
27.
27. Very good, sir. All right, so that becomes a new equation of what? So let's take this. And it becomes simply, all that is gone for 27. Okay, I'm just simplifying it so you can do your algebra. Now, use algebra again to solve for y. Okay, no problem. I can dig it. I can do it. So first thing I want to do is I want to take this equation. I'm going to put it down here again because I'm about to make some changes to it. And the change is I want to get y by itself. So I see here, this is a positive 27. I can just take what I don't want next to the equation or next to the y and do the opposite of it. So if it's a positive 27, we have to use a negative 27. Do to one side, you got to do to the other. Okay. So with that said, These are the changes, again, to the problem. This allows me to cancel out these two right here, because minus 27 plus 27 is going to be 0. So that's gone. Now our new equation is this here, because that's now crossed out. Again, we're not finished because y is not by itself yet, but we got one more step to do it. But look at that. That's negative 2 multiplied by y. Well, how do we get it by itself? Well, all we got to do is do the opposite of multiplication again. So make a division bar on both sides of the equation. And then what I don't want next to the y is this negative 2. So I'm going to take that. I got to move that whole fraction down so you can see it clearly. There we go. And I also want to put another negative 2 on this side. This is so we can cancel out the 2's here. So this negative 2 and this negative 2, they will cancel out, leaving only a positive y. So let me cross that out for you. And then the same thing here. So we end up with a new equation of y is equal to, you got two fractions now. So the first one is the first fraction is going to say 19, and it's going to be divided by negative 2. But you got to also look at the fact that this negative 2 divides into this negative 27. So that's going to be negative, negative, and they make positive. So you multiply things together, or you divide them together, they're gonna end up changing the sign. So it's plus and then 27, and don't forget 2 divides into both of those elements. So you're gonna have a negative 2 here because nothing canceled it. You have a positive 2 here because the negatives canceled there. So that'll be, like I said, negative 2, and this will be just 2. So now we have one new equation to solve for, or a new y to solve for. It becomes y equals what? Well, we can do like terms if you choose, but again, I'm allowing you to use your quick calculator because I know you got a lot of classes. So let's plug that in and see what happens, right? We end up with, I'm going to use parentheses to keep it all together, a negative. Oh, let me clean this up. That's gone. A negative, and it's going to be 19 divided by 2. And then don't forget you got plus that other fraction, use parentheses because it helps in this thing, 27, and it's divided by 2. So what does that become? Now, normally I keep saying most people don't like using common denominators, but this engineering tool, Simulab, it goes through what it could be, but it also gives you the answer. So if you need practice, it shows you some steps in here too. That's why I like this tool so much. So 4 is the answer for y, and then we just got to say what our order pair is. So if that's the case, we say the order pair is, let's do like we did last time. The order pair is, remember it's always your x comma y, not this or that, but what we found, that's from the previous problem, is going to be our x that we said was, earlier we said it was what, 3. So put 3 there, and then comma, because always x comma y, 4. That brings you to the end of that problem, okay? I want you to take at least 5 minutes to digest that and type it up. Are y'all both there? Because I'm trying to make sure I'm not losing you. Which part of the problem are you guys on? Which part should I leave it on for the 5 minutes?
The ordered pair.
Right here? Like how much did you guys type so far?
That's where I'm at right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move to the very next worksheet problem. Danny, you caught up too?
Yeah, I'm caught up.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys 5 minutes. Stretch your legs. We're gonna knock out this last worksheet problem, do a data talk, and then we gotta get ready for the next period. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm setting my timer until exactly what time to come back. That would be, and I got an email from the principal. That's 10:43. I want you guys to come back at 10:43, or let's just do 10:44. Knock out that last problem, and then I can answer questions about what's going on with your scores. Okay. So 5 minutes. See you back.
Okay.
Okay, is everybody back? Hope you get a chance to stretch your legs a little bit. Did y'all set up the next problem or no? Hello?
Yeah,
Who's that, Danny?
I'm getting to it.
So then you know what the next problem was, right?
Yeah, I know what the next problem is.
So it's 7, right? Let's say we got to do 6 and 7 earlier. And then 1 and 2, you're going to be responsible for. So hold on, let me take this. And you guys can see what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just being sure. Now, this is the next problem we're going to work on before class is over with, and it should be a real quick process. So let's get started so we can get out of here and get to our next period. That did not work out the way I wanted it to. All right, go back. So I'm going to have to side by side this. I see. Let me do. This is the other joy of having side by side screens. So it's we can take it one at a time. It's this here. All right. There we go. Call that equation 1. Clean that up in a minute. It's problem number 2 that I said I was going to do with you.
No.
No, not number 2, but I should say problem 6. I don't want to confuse y'all. And then it was 12. So this is problem 6. No, 7. I'm sorry. And this was problem 6 earlier, right? Am I doing that right? All right. And take this and put this up here so there's no confusion. This is from the worksheet. This is problem number. What did we say that was? Right, 6 and 7. So that's problem 6 we did. And you can number yours like this so you can keep it all clean. Because after this, you're going to have problem 1 and 2 after I get done with this one. So let's knock it out. I need the second equation from that problem 7. And that's this right here. It's giving me grief. Okay, there we go. Here. And it did it again. By golly. All right. All right, so what is it again? It's x plus y is equal to, I forget what it was, -5. And just make these all the same letters so you don't get lost in the sauce. Okay, cool. So from the looks of it, this is equation 2. Keep it clean. But from the looks of it, the easiest equation for us to start off with, and I'm going through it as fast as I can because it's like 10:47, and I still want to do a data talk with you guys. Remember, you got to finish 1 and 2 and put it inside of this document. Do it the best you can using the methods I showed you, and just check the videos in case you get lost. But how do we do this? Well, I say start with this one because it has no numbers by the X or the Y. This one does. And you could use this, but this is easier because you just manipulate the X and the Y and you got one or the other. And then you come back and plug it in. So since this Y is by itself, in this equation here, I'm going to solve for Y and then put it in here. Let me take this equation. And now solve. Now use algebra, I should say, can't spell, to solve for y. Okay. Hope you guys are following along. You can be typing this up so you won't have too much to do when you work on the 2 problems. Now, I'm going to put this equation here because I'm going to work on it. Solve for y in equation 2. So you'll know. And now I need to take this equation and move it down one because I want to show you steps. And how do I get y by itself? Well, x is right here. So it's a positive x. I can get it to the other side using algebra like we did in many other steps. So I'll just take x But first I want to make it negative because it's already positive. And then what you do to one side, of course, like we've always said, you got to do to the other. Now, these are the changes to the problem. I incorporated this when I did algebra and this. Now, if you want, you could do it on paper, but I'm showing you a way to type it in. And it's hard to do it on paper because I might see it and then it don't get scanned right, or I can't read your hand right, and then you're kind of mad at me because you didn't get maximum points. I don't go off of you know what I mean, Tyler, and it'll be a problem. So just try to type it up the way I'm doing it, so it doesn't give you headaches later on. I'm gonna strike this out because that cancels. This negative x and positive x, they go away. New equation is now this right here. Because that x and that x over there, they're gone. Okay, so now we're working with this situation, and we can actually take this as it is and substitute it all into our other equation. So what does that look like? I'm going to go ahead and bold that and underline it because you're going to need to use that for a second and also come back to it to get the original y. This is not the full y. So where am I at with this? Let's continue. I'm going to go back and use, I'm going to say now substitute this equation above into equation 1, right? So what does that look like? Well, let's go get that equation. This is equation 1. And we're going to plug this in here. So take this and put it down here one more time because we're going to work on it. But the only thing we're doing is we're taking what's here in this y and putting it in this y down here. All right, so let's do that. It's going to be that negative 5 minus x. I'm going to take that. Or I could have took it from here too. I'm going to take that. And this becomes my new y value. So use parentheses, plug it in. And I have to use in parentheses because you'll see when you have to change signs. Like this plus and this negative, that will make a negative situation. That's plus minus, a plus multiplied by a minus, it still makes negative. Plus times a plus is a plus, and negative times a negative is a plus. So if you need a review on that, just check it out. But let's go through it, right? So we got 3x plus parentheses, what we found above, negative 5 minus x, close parentheses equals 21. You got to use distribution, and it doesn't pretty much change. So I'm going to show you what it becomes, because that's like saying plus 1 multiplied with distribution method into the parentheses. So here's what it looks like when you actually write it or simplify it. Parentheses drop off, and the negative stays because, like I said, you have a plus multiplied by a negative, and it just stays negative. So this is the equation we have, but look here, we have like terms. Underline our like terms. And all that's saying is, what is 3x minus x? That's kind of like saying, what is 3 minus 1? Well, that's going to become simply 2x minus 5 is equal to 21, negative 21. Now we have to use algebra to solve for x. Now solve for x. And I'm moving as fast as I can because we're almost out of time, you all. Solve for x. I'll take this and do some algebra on it. Oh, all I got to do is remove that 5 here, right? That negative 5, and then get that 2 off of that x. So let's go ahead and remove it by using our algebra keys. That becomes, again, put that here so you can see the steps. Going to add 5 both sides. So these are the changes to your current situation. Okay. Now, what happens is this 5 will cancel, and this 5 will cancel because they're like terms. So 5 minus 5 is 0. They go away. And our new equation simply is this 2x that's not been touched and this over here. So let's write it out. New equation is now 2x equals, and we just take this negative 21 plus 5. We're at the finish line, you guys, so hang in there. So now we got 2x, which is same as 2 times x. I can simply make it into a fraction. Let me grab this. And like I said, we're going to turn it into a fraction. So this will be divided by 2, because that's not what we want, by the x. And then what you do to one side, you got to do to the other. End up with 2 on that side and 2 here. I can cross out these 2's. And the red are the changes that were made to this new equation. So we end up with x equals, it's going to be this negative 21, and it divides by 2. But you also got this 5, and it'll be divided by 2. So we have 2 and 2 here, because they divide into both. All right, let's use our symbol lab to finish this off, and then we got to still go back and solve for y in this equation. Where is it at? In here. And that'll be simple once we find out what x is, and we'll be done. So equals, we had 4 minutes left. Let me hurry up. So let me use my trusty calculator. And like I said before, use parentheses with this. Minus 21 divided by 2. Okay. And then you could come over here and say plus, because we got 2 fractions there. 5 divided by 2. Hit enter, and the answer is here. It's negative 8. Okay. So bold this. We're going to use this one more time. You're going to take that 8, and we're going to plug it into this equation from beginning. Right. So what we found for y to plug in the next equation is what we have to use to find y. Come down. And I'm going to say now substitute the x value back into the other equation, or simplify it. 1 minute left. I got to hurry. So boom, and then boom, and that becomes a negative 8 that goes there. And since it's negative negative, there'll be another process happening there. So what does that look like in the end? Well, if you're not sure, you just simply do this. You say what? Negative 5 minus parentheses of minus 8. Close parentheses, and the final answer is, if you paid attention, it'll be less, because that will become a positive 8, and it'll subtract. We end up with 3. Okay, so y equal to 3. Okay. Ordered pair, like we did earlier, real quickly, because we're almost out of time. And again, these videos will be uploaded so you can review it in case something didn't look right. But your ordered pair, trying to take it from somewhere else, here we go, is simply typed in like this. Where are you at? All the way at the bottom. There we go. And it is, what do we say our x was? It was -8, comma, the y value, which was 3. Okay, so that is the end. You need to still do 1 and 2, but we're out of time, so I got to do data talk with you later. Get to your next period. It is now 10:59. I have to get ready for the next class.
I think we both have you again, Tyler.
Yeah, we both have you.
You have me both?
Yeah,
Yup.
remember computer science?
Real computer science?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, all right, you know what to do. Y'all take 10 minutes and get ready. Y'all got to bring up y'all Scratch programs because that's what we're going over. But take a moment and get all these notes. And I'm going to stop recording so I can get this video ready for you guys. But come back at 11:10, okay?
Okay.